Nobou Uematsu. This is the ultimate Final Fantasy podcast with your hosts Joseph DeGolier and Caleb Schweitz. This is Ultima Final Fantasy.
Welcome to another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the ultimate Final Fantasy podcast. I am Joe.
And I am Caleb.
We are recording a little bit late today because we went to a concert in Reno, Nevada. So
yes.
Apologies to our Twitch users who were waiting around on Saturday. I hope you got our message on our forum, but...
Yeah, I was going to make a little image for the Twitch channel, but then I forgot, so... So yeah, sorry. I thought of you for... about 10 seconds, and then it just went out the other side.
All right, so today we are going to be talking about what we want from Final Fantasy 15. And we're going to kind of start a new segment that I was thinking about before, and we'll see if it works on you guys. Who knows?
Okay.
So just to let you guys know, you can find us at youtube.com/Ultima Final Fantasy, Twitter at UFF Podcast. You can also go to facebook.com/Ultima Final Fantasy. Support us on Patreon. We do have a couple new Patreon supporters, and thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
We do appreciate it. If you give us $1 on Patreon, you'll get the episodes early.
Except today.
Even today, you'll get the episodes a couple hours
early.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. Plus, we'll let you in on any sort of secrets.
Yeah, we might be giving you a little special something on
If
Patreon
we happen to do this is very Square Enix-esque, by the way. If we happen to give you something extra at some point, don't say anything about it to anybody else.
Please don't. Except to us.
You can talk to us about it.
You can privately message us.
Yes, feel free.
You can go to twitch.tv/Ultima Final Fantasy. Sometimes, see our episode live if you catch us.
Yes.
And you can join our forums, please, ultimafinalfantasy.com.
Yeah, the forums have been, they've been picking up a little bit, but not quite as awesome as the old ones, so... Jump on the website.
It's just people moving over, and then Halloween was kind of weird with our download rates. It was weird.
Yeah, true. It was all over the place, but yeah, come check it out. It's a lot of fun. We've got, level ups and all sorts of cool stuff on there. So dig in.
Other things that listeners can join us on Final Fantasy XIV.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, at least Caleb will be on at 6:30. Tuesday, I will not be joining. Not this week, anyway. But yeah, if you want to join us on there, we are in the Brynhildr server.
Yes.
And you can find us and join our free company with all the other people that play with us. And
it's never too late. You can always catch up. Just keep that in mind.
That's true. Where are you in Final Fantasy XIV?
I think I'm around level 43-ish. The level quests around there. And I'm running into this problem. In the beginning of 14, I was doing just level quests. Well, not just level quests, but I could just do main scenario quests, yeah. And I would level up just fine, and I could just plow through the game. And now it's getting to the point where the experience is insane. And I'm having to do all the main story quests, and then go do side quests or fates or whatever it may be. And so it's kind of slowed down the grind for me. I don't know. I think you're experiencing the same exact thing, aren't you?
Yeah, levels are going to be slower as you get up in levels. I think that's just a given.
Yeah, it is.
You were saying before that you didn't think we would make it. Like that we wouldn't be able to finish the all the main scenario quests of... A Realm Reborn by the time our 2 months was up for the game.
Right.
I still think we should be able to hit it, just because most of those quests are on level 50, so as long as we get to level 50, then we can do a lot of quests really quickly. At least that's what I'm assuming, having not done it before.
Yeah.
That's what I'm assuming. Even then, of course, we will wait until we finish the game before we do a full review on it.
Right.
So don't be scared of that.
Yeah, we're not going to do the review before we're done with the game. That'd be madness.
Yeah, that'd be dumb. It's not a 2 month and then there's a cement wall.
Yeah, it's however long it takes. Yeah. Hopefully 2 months.
But we're trying. We'll try to get there on time.
Right. I mean, as long as we do our daily roulettes and just dungeon grind, because we shouldn't be doing too many side quests. We should just be redoing dungeons over and over again to get that extra experience because it's a lot faster that way. It's just really boring to me. I don't want to do the same thing a million fucking times. Regardless of how great the XP is, I'm not playing the video game to just play the game and, just do the same shit over and over again. So, I don't know. Well, I'm just not into that. But if that's what I have to do to beat it in the amount of time, I'll do it.
All right. Well, shall we get to the news?
Yeah, we'll talk about some news.
All right, so a couple pieces of news this week. Thank you to Shinru and Fruff, I believe, gave us some news.
Yeah.
So our first piece of news here, Final Fantasy XV developers ask fans if they'd like to see moogles in the game.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm just going to read the article here from Siliconera. Final Fantasy XV director Hajime Tababa, jeez Louise, I'm tired, previously mentioned that there are no plans for adding moogles in the game.
Oh.
Big Final Fantasy staple.
Not always.
But also said that if there's enough fan demand, they'll find a way to put them in. The developers are now asking via Twitter if fans would like to see them in the game. Schweiss, what do you feel about possibly no moogles?
It's not the worst thing. There's not really any moogles in Final Fantasy VII. There's Kate Sith, but he's a robot, so he doesn't count.
So the voting, by the way, 87% have said yes, please put moogles into the game, with 13% saying no.
Yeah, I mean, and then you got to remember also in 10, there's not really any moogles either. There's the little moogle doll, but that doesn't count as a moogle because a moogle is an animate creature that moves around. So it's not the biggest deal, but I think it'd be cool to have moogles again.
This next piece of news here, Final Fantasy XIV visited by a time-traveling heroine in Final Fantasy XI collaboration event.
Oh God!
That's what it says
man!
Here on Siliconera, and I am so confused by this article. I want you to see if you are just as confused as I am.
All right, so let's see. With Final Fantasy XI's main scenario, Rhapsodies of Vana'diel, drawing to a close, Final Fantasy XIV is holding a special in-game collaboration event which will blend the worlds of the two Final Fantasy MMOs. So much for them being separate, fucking thrown out the window.
Well,
but anyway.
They put other Final Fantasy characters in Final Fantasy XIV. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are of the same world. Here's where it gets confusing on the article here. Announced on Final Fantasy XIV's developer blog, the event A Journey to Remember will begin on November 11th and feature Iroha, the main heroine from Rhapsodies of Vana'diel, which, by the way, if you guys don't know, that's the final expansion of Final Fantasy XI. She has traveled from the future where the world has been consumed and is determined to stop Vana'diel from continuing down the road towards its destruction. Shows she's in the world of 14 to stop 11's from being destroyed?
I don't know. Adventurers who assist Iroha in her quest to save Vana'diel from its doomed fate will receive the Uematsu equipment, which is similar to her armor. Oh, it looks pretty cool. It's really red. It looks kind of like Darth's armor.
So what's confusing me... 11. I'm not sure if she's leaving her world in order to save Vana'diel, or if Vana'diel is the Final Fantasy XIV world in the future.
She's leaving her world to save...
That article did not make that clear.
No.
The wording of it did not make
somehow, by going to 14, by going to Eorzea, she's going to save Vana'diel. I'm not sure why or how. Oh, this one's a real kick in the face. Nobou Uematsu apparently is not working on the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yep, in some interview.
Wow, yeah, in an interview with a French outlet, Jux Video, the composer was asked if he was working on the remake of Final Fantasy VII. He says, not at all, which is crazy.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I think that's madness. I mean, they could reuse his tracks because he was working for Square, and technically they're Square Enix's tracks, so they will just probably redo a lot of the big staples. But as far as coming up with new music for it, I don't know if they should even do that if Nobou's not going to work on it. I mean, obviously the music that he created for 7 initially, they can redo, they can remaster because he was working for them. It's their music.
Right, so it's Square's copyrighted material.
But if the game is going to get bigger like it's supposed to, I don't know I don't know how they're going to be pulling that shit off. Like, how are they going to make more music?
It'll just be remakes of his works, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if they make more areas, that's not possible. Unless they reuse tracks or just have silence, go all FF11 mode and just in the areas that didn't exist in the original game.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about that. Are you ready to talk about some Final Fantasy 15?
Yeah, we can touch on 15. All right, but first, we talk to Twitch. Let us see what you guys have asked.
Bumshole's message was deleted.
Good. Little spammer. Guy on the left definitely gets no blah blah.
Oh, thank you.
Hooray. Yes. Tell me you guys checked your messages on the website. I did.
What?
He sent us a review and he said it wouldn't post, so we technically don't have to do the no reviews because Crenatol gave us a review.
Okay. Have we been over this?
No, he said he posted it on iTunes, but it wouldn't show up. And he posted it a while ago.
Days.
I don't know. Catch up to us when we get to you, Crenatol. The concert was great.
It takes a couple days.
We'll
concert
talk more.
Was amazing.
We'll talk more about the concert on Getting Fat.
Mm-hmm. There's maintenance on 14?
Fuck.
Jesus.
No playtime on Monday.
Why is there why does the maintenance have to just destroy the game?
How is that a great time? Great for you to catch. Oh, I think he's talking about our slowing down of levels. I was like, yeah, offline is going to be great for you to catch up, Crenatol. You'll catch a lot of levels with the servers being down.
That's why I say enjoy the grind. It's funny.
Joe doesn't enjoy the grind.
We got that tagline, and I fucking hate grinding so much.
Yeah, the grind is for me. Joe is the anti-grind.
Hey guys, newish listener to the podcast. Glad I caught you live. Love the show. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Everburn.
Everburn.
No moogles, that's new. It's not really new. It's just not common. Because there aren't any in 7 or 10.
There shouldn't be a need for him since he did the music already.
I mean, they can remaster it. It's not the biggest deal. It's just the problem is if with a remake of 7, they're going to add new areas. They're going to add new stuff, and it's going to be weird having another composer. I mean,
have another composer do stuff in the style of new.
It won't be the worst thing ever, but it's going to be kind of funky.
Fate events.
Hello, smile something. Sorry, it's like deep blue, and I can't read the fucking thing. But yes, Fate events will be awesome. And hello, Chica. He posted the review a week ago, is what Crenatol is saying now. Are we going to continue 14 after we finish the main story quests? I might play it, but I'm not going to continue on with the storyline stuff. I'll just crush some side quests and side jobs, I guess.
Gotta wait for Heaven's Word.
I want to do more naked fishing at the very least. I mean, I figure if I have a weekend where I'm going to drink a lot, I can probably fish drunk. In 14.
So, if you're a newer listener, you might not know this. We do have a very specific order for how we're going to beat the games, and that includes putting off the expansions of FF11 and FF14 for a later date. After we're done with the prequels and sequels, or it might be during sequels. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we're gonna mix. We might mix it up because obviously we're gonna do.
But it'll be in the future, and we've discussed this so many times on the Twitch stream, at least.
Yeah, but we'll get to it. It's just not yet. So
naked fishing for the win. Can you explain naked fishing to me? I hear you talk about it all the time.
Well, when you know how when you switch your main weapon or whatever to change classes.
Yeah.
Well, when I change to my fisherman class, I'm like a level 3. So all of my gear,
nothing.
Yeah, I don't have any gear on anymore because my gear is for not level 3, and I'm just in my underwear immediately, and I just grab my pole, my fishing pole, and I throw it out into the water and catch stuff. So naked fishing.
Hey, you guys on Twitch, I need you to write down things in the chat that you want to see in Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, that's going to be our discussion. So anything you feel is 100% necessary.
Yeah, and do it quick because we're gonna go.
Yeah, but we'll go off on our own shit, obviously. Grabs his pole fishing.
Are you saying naked fishing is part of 15, or is naked fishing?
He wants to see story. Hunts.
Okay. All right. You ready?
Yes. All right, man. What do you think I don't know. We just talked about.
Yeah, we just talked about the Moogle thing.
Do you think that is one thing that you definitely need to see in 15?
You know what? Okay, I'm wondering, how would you vote on that?
If
I would vote yes. This real quick, I would vote yes.
Okay.
I did not know there were no plans to put Moogles in Final Fantasy 15.
You know, I don't. Okay, I'd probably vote yes too. If there was like a don't care option, I'd probably choose that. But if it's yes or no, I mean, excluding Moogles is just fucking rude, especially after what our past with Moogles is. In 6, they were the world to us, and for them to not even consider Moogles.
Well, 9 also, like
9, they were awesome, and then
you
there
can't
was
live without 'em.
The big bro guy that I really got a kick out of in 9. With his little brother, he was like, "Oh wow, thanks, bro. You're really smart." I know. You know, like that shit would have been gone without the Moogles. So I'm gonna vote yes if I were Japanese and were asked. But since, you know, they didn't ask the people who buy their games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I vote high. Vote high.
Hi.
We should get shirts that say that. Vote high for the Moogle.
This.
For the Moogle movement. But yeah, so Moogles is one that...
Should we call it the Moogle movement?
I think we should.
You're like part of the Moogle party or the Chocobo party. It's like every year you vote on the next Final Fantasy. Like, I don't know.
I think that'd be sweet.
I believe Moogles and Chocobos should be treated equally and should both be put in Final Fantasy games.
Yeah.
The Chocobo parties, like, Moogles aren't useful. Should only have Chocobos.
Yeah.
I feel like those should be the two party system there.
That would be sweet. Although I think I don't know, we should have like some middle ground, like CNN-esque. Something that's just like, I don't even know. We'll have to figure that out.
Okay. All right.
So we have the extremes.
Yeah, I always stay away from politics. I was about to draw some lines, and I was like, no.
Yeah, we got to leave it alone. But I don't know. I would say Moogles for sure. Chocobos definitely have to be in there, but we already know they are.
That's true. And in the demo, they were there, but you couldn't use them. But they did say that you were going to be able to use them.
Right, and we saw it in that video like 3-4 weeks ago where they were running around with the Chocobo, and it looked awesome. I think that's a must. I think one thing... Oh, man, another thing I really want to see, and thus far they don't have, is a way to fight the summons, to earn the summons. Because with Odin... Oh, no, not Odin. Sorry, Ramu. You just go into the cave and you get the summon.
But we know that that's a demo, and that's not necessarily the way that you're going to get that specific summon.
Right, but as of right now, that's all we know about the summons. I think that would
Or that the summons are going to be that powerful.
Yeah. I think, man. I think I want to have another system like in the earlier days where you fight the summon. You kind of like earn the right to get the summon as opposed to just finding it. I think that would be something that's really cool, and I think they should add it.
So instead of just having Noctis's swords, or was it a sword? What was it? It was some kind of like beam of light or something like that he had to touch.
Yeah, instead of attuning. It's almost like 14 where you just go up to the crystal and you like attune yourself. That's kind of what it looked like.
Yeah.
I don't remember any item. Oh, no, there was like a...
Is the idea that Noctis has some sort of like... He's like an ancient or something like that, and he has some tie to these ancient beings? Or these godlike things? That must be it.
Yeah.
So he has to, like, maybe per level has to collect a summon. Or something. I'm wondering what the summons have to do
with Noctis himself.
With Noctis and what it has to do with the story. I know there's a little bit of information out there, but I don't know much.
Yeah. I think that, yeah, so I think that would be... I think that'd be something that I would really want in the game.
Well, maybe you just have to, like, be in a certain area and be tough enough to, like, find a secret, you know, and that helps you get the summon.
Yeah.
Not necessarily kill the summon, but that would be an interesting...
Some sort of trial before the summon, if not the summon himself, would be cool. Because with 10, you had the cloister of trials, and then you would go in and you would get the summon.
I think Square will do something like that.
You think so? You don't think it's just going to be...
They seem pretty consistent with that stuff.
Yeah, there's usually something.
And if the summons are as powerful as they were in the demo, or even close to that in any sort of way, they need to be earned. Yeah,
they can't. You can't just have that kind of power willy-nilly, just handing it out like candy at Halloween. You know, those things are powerful.
Yeah.
So I think there should be some sort of earn to play thing for the summon a little more than what they have currently. Although, I mean, in other games, there were ones you just got for free. Someone mentioned on the stream, I noticed, with 7, you can just get the chocobo one, like, just for talking to the chocobo in the little farm area. You can talk to the chocobo and do, like, different queh and shit, and you'll get a chocobo summon from them.
Wow.
So, I mean, not all of them are earned, but, I mean, that one's like a gimp compared to some of the others anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
The chocobo summon's never useful.
Yeah, not very much.
All right, I have on here, and someone posted on the Twitch thing also, hunts.
Yeah, hunts would be fun.
I think they are going to put hunts in.
They definitely
I would be
are.
very surprised if they didn't, and the behemoth thing seemed like a hunt.
Oh, yeah.
In the demo, so I think that hunts will definitely be there, but what if that was only a demo gimmick? How would you feel if they didn't have hunts in 15?
I would feel robbed. I mean, what I want is a Western-style hunt system where I walk up to a building and there's a fucking wanted poster with the monster's face, 1,000 gil, dead or alive, or like maybe 1,000 dead, 1,500 alive somehow, and you have to like maim it cruelly and then somehow lure it back to them to get the extra gil. That's what I want to see. I want to see it kind of like how it was in the demo, but maybe a little more background to it, like in 12 a little.
Okay.
To where they're like, oh man, this thing needs to die because we're undead children and this thing fucking killed us. You need to go kill it so our souls can be released, kind of a thing. A little more connection.
Like 13?
13 did it a little bit. I didn't like 13's as much. I didn't care about any of it because it was just people that failed and they just sucked, you know.
Okay, this actually brings up something else. Gil collection in 15.
Yeah.
What game in the Final Fantasy series would you like it to emulate as far as Gil collection? We assume that it's going to have money and it's going to be Gil.
Yeah, and hopefully the economy in the game isn't crap. So you get Gil, unlike some of the games, such as 13, where Gil is very hard to find. And what system would I want it to emulate? I kind of like 10s to the point where you just get a little bit of Gil for each thing you have.
And then also you can sell items?
Yeah, and also you can sell items. But I also really like 12s where you get the loot and you can like chain stuff to get better items.
You know what? I thought
to sell.
Gil was a little hard to come by in 12, but it was not nearly as hard as 13's. I wish they would have a Gil system like 12's, but that it would be a little bit more relaxed on that front. So
okay, yeah.
Maybe just mess with the economy of the game a little bit so that, you know, it doesn't cost so much for Phoenix Down.
Right, like, yeah.
That's always ridiculous.
Phoenix Downs are notoriously expensive throughout the whole series almost. Like in like 1 and 2, they were ridiculous. It wasn't even worth buying a Phoenix Down. Like the amount of gil I'd have to earn, by the time I get there, I'm already a monster. Nothing can even touch me, kind of a thing. So yeah, I feel like we do need a strong economy and a legitimate way to make money.
Well, I don't know. I think Noctis is going into someone else's country, right?
Yeah.
Like some other territory.
Mm-hmm.
So does everybody just use... If everybody's using the same currency, it kind of messes with that. Do you think they should have different currencies? I don't think that's ever been explored in a Final Fantasy. I could be wrong.
I don't think so. Maybe it is, though. Maybe that's why you don't have any gil. Because you are royalty. I mean, you should be loaded.
I'm pretty sure in the demo, animals drop gil. Or if they don't, they drop loot to sell. So maybe it is taking 12's economy.
Yeah, it could be. That is an interesting thing, though. Like, you're royalty, and I know there's fighting going on, so there's a lot of money being moved.
I think another empire probably takes over his place.
Yeah, there's definitely contention.
So maybe there is just one currency.
With that. I don't know. Maybe they're like Europe, and maybe they just accepted the fact that we all need to kind of have the same thing, and...
well, if you have the same currency, I mean, what's the point of... whatever.
We don't want to get too deep into this.
Yeah, obviously not. I think some kind of combination. I would like to earn a little bit of gil from killing things, but then in case things get tough. But then at the same time, I would like to sell loot that has dropped.
Yeah, or use it.
Can I have both?
I think we probably could have both.
And I would also love if the Phoenix Down wasn't super expensive, like it always is. And you always need Phoenix Downs, especially at the beginning of the game. And, I don't know, kind of add more challenge and less... more challenge to the strategy and less challenge to the, I got to restart in this area, which I'm sure they'll be fine at in 15.
Oh, so you don't want them... You want them to kind of adopt 13's system a little more? Where you can retry, or you don't lose all
You're not going to be able to do that because you're in an open environment, but with that in mind, maybe Phoenix Down should be a little bit more easy to come by, especially if campsites are going to be so far away from where you're going to camp.
Yeah, how do you feel about that too? I mean, the only way you can level up is by going to sleep, which is a cool idea. I mean, Oblivion,
and your experience gets lower the more tired your characters are.
Yeah, that's kind of cheap, but I mean, it makes sense. Actually, no, it doesn't.
And they should get rid of that.
That doesn't make any sense. What would make sense is if you started doing less damage after being awake for like 2 days. That's fine. That makes sense. You shouldn't be out there anyway. You should go sleep and level up your 50 levels for the 10 minutes of work you did in the very beginning. But, I don't know. I feel like the camp spots, that's a cool idea, but I kind of want to have the ability that some of the older Final Fantasy games brought us with, I don't know, like the tent items and the cottage item and the blah, blah, blah item where you don't have to be at a site. But you can just kind of lay down camp when needs be.
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of item that allows you to put down a camp where you want.
And I'd even be willing to...
Or at least in like a flat area or something.
Come up with like a give and take kind of thing. Like it won't give you as much as going to another area per se. But you can still do it and get what you need done. Kind of a thing. Your guys will stop doing less damage. I think that'd be kind of cool to have to replace the freaking loss of XP system with more of a stamina kind of system where you just do less damage instead. So it's harder to get things accomplished. It's harder to get that XP from the enemy because it's harder to kill it because you're tired. As opposed to less XP. That's kind of bullshit. I still killed the thing. I should get the reward from the thing. I don't know. I think they should integrate something like that.
You know what I want? They were having problems adjusting the camera. With 15, remember that?
Yeah.
They were like, where should we put the camera? I guess we put the camera too close. We're going to put the camera a little further away. How about an adjustable camera?
Oh, so 14.
How about we take that FF12 camera kind of thing, or FF14 even, where you can just move the camera where you want?
Yeah, I mean, 12's is...
at your comfortable level.
Yeah, 12's is in a really good spot, but 14's is like, I think it's perfect. You can do whatever you want with it. You can back all the way up to dodge stuff or to get an aerial view.
You know what's always been a problem, speaking of camera? Whether or not the controls are inverted or if they're put to like default.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference? Because I remember 12 was inverted, right?
Yeah.
And then 13's was put to default / whatever the camera wanted to be. That was annoying. Don't do that in 15.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to anyway.
No, I fucking hate that.
And then I think 15's was default also so far.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference?
Not really. I just have a problem when I go from 12 that's inverted directly to 13 that's not inverted and the camera's all over the fucking place. I could not do 13 for like the first 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah,
like,
it was
my
rough.
God, the camera, I'm just getting fucked because I spent 130 hours on Final Fantasy 12 with the inversion and then suddenly no fucking inversion.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I can't even move the camera, so I'm just like walking all over the place, just looking like I'm fucking high or drunk or both while I'm playing this game, and I'm like, man, I can't do it. Yeah. So I think they got to stick with one of them and just.
Well, for the rest of the series, stick with.
Yeah, just have whatever 14 is. I don't even know if it's regular or inverted. I think it's regular though, because I didn't have some huge problem going from 13 to 14.
Right. It must be regular. So 12 is the odd man out there.
Yeah. It just needs to stay the same. That's all I ask.
There you go.
If I get free range, I want it to be all the same.
Okay.
What other ideas did you have?
I got here airships.
Okay.
How do you feel about airships? I know they were saying that they weren't planning on putting airships in because they wasn't sure how useful it was for the story and for the fact that it would be extremely hard on the system, on the game. So putting it in where it wasn't going to clunk up the game.
Yeah.
I think was one of their problems with it. Do you think airships are necessary in Final Fantasy 15? We see there's airships in 14. There are not airships in 13. Is there an airship in 12?
Yeah, there's a shitload of airships, but you don't use them like normal airships. You can only go to certain spots.
That's right. And 11's the same way with that. So we haven't had a fully controllable airship since FF9.
Yes. I think we need one, but it doesn't necessarily have to be an airship. I think if they keep the car mechanic in the same vein that they have it in currently, I'll be okay with it, because it's basically an airship. I mean, you can argue semantics all fucking day if you want, but it's an overhead view of you moving from one area to another in a very quick fashion. Mm-hmm. It's essentially an airship. I want it to be controllable, kind of like in 7 and 8, but maybe have a function like they already have with the auto drive, kind of like how 8 has, where I can just be like, all right, I want to go from here to here, and I've done all the side quests, so I don't need to stop on the way, just get me there, kind of a thing. That'd be cool.
I think they're wanting one continuous world in FF15. Remember they gave us the world map thing?
Yeah, it's huge.
So the idea would be that it would, like, the hardware wouldn't be able to handle the airship going over such a huge map. But then again, you could have a separate bitmap that's like the mini world, you know?
Yeah, you could.
So I don't know why that is necessarily a problem.
Yeah, like once you get into the airship, it zooms out, and it's like an above old school kind of view where you move. You travel by map almost.
Look, if they don't put it in 15, at least put it in 16. And because of how big 15 is going to be, there's going to be a way to like get back to certain areas. But maybe it won't be an airship. Maybe it'll just be like an airplane.
Yeah. It's a private jet.
Yeah.
Once you win, you're just like, well, I can fly anywhere now.
I got the car, might as well have the airplane, right?
I don't see why not.
So, yeah, I hope it's in 16 at least. I kind of want that back,
Yeah, the free roam.
I haven't seen it in so long.
Free roam ship, and it was such a staple for quite a while, too. It was
staple for 9 games in a row. That's what that was.
And then suddenly, kaput.
Should Sid still be Sydney?
Well, Sid is supposed to be your dad.
Oh, it was Cindy, right?
Yeah, that's not
Sid.
No.
Okay, so I was just confused about that.
No, her dad is Sid.
Okay, if anybody else wants to correct me
correct me. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, though. There's
Sid, and then he named his daughter Cindy.
Sydney or Cindy.
It's Cindy.
Okay, I can't remember.
The N before the D. So it kind of fucks it up.
I'm pretty sure her dad's name was Sid, and they mentioned that a little bit at the end of the demo. So I'm fine with it.
I don't think they did.
I feel like they did.
I don't think they did. Someone else correct.
Well, I mean, you don't have to pay attention, so whatever.
No, fuck you. All right. Someone put in the Twitch stream Tomberries. Do you think Tomberries are necessary?
Yeah, I think they're a lot of fun, and they're just one of the most confusing enemies, because in 13 they showed up and I was like, holy shit, this is going to be crazy, and then I just whipped their asses. But in 7 they show up, and you don't just do that. You don't just mess with the Tomberry. You leave it alone until you're like level 80, and then you can maybe fight it.
So should okay, we assume there's going to be a Tomberry. How about we just assume that?
Okay.
Because I don't think there has been a game in a long time where there wasn't a Tomberry.
I don't remember any in 11.
There's probably Tomberries in 11.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume that there are Tomberries in 11. Do you think they should be difficult?
Yeah, I think they should. I think they should give you a lot of something, either gil, experience, an awesome loot drop, but I think they should be a pain in the ass. I think that's the only way to go with Tomberry. Make them difficult and make them worth it.
I agree with you. Totally. Make them difficult.
Yeah, I don't want to just lay waste. Although 2 of them in 13 gets hectic, but I never really had a problem. Like, they were attacking the shit out of me, but it wasn't insane amounts of damage like it was in 10 when I was fighting the King Tomberry, and he would do 100,000 damage to me, like it was nothing.
Someone on the Twitch chat said they ran into a level 50 Tomberry in FF14. I assume that means it's really tough.
That's awesome, yeah. So they're in 14, that's a good sign, and...
so we assume they're going to be in 15.
Yeah, and probably...
And if they're not going to be too happy.
Oh, someone else brought up cactaurs. I think that's a staple they should keep going with, too. They're like my favorite enemy, obviously. And I don't know, along the lines of cactaur.
I'm sure they'll put cactaurs in.
I kind of want them to go back to the old school, though. Like the 13, the 12.
Yeah.
Well, no, 13.
Well, 13 had an old school cactaur.
Yeah, 10s and below.
Not 11s and 14s cactaur.
Yeah. 12's cactaur were weird
11 and
too.
14's cactaur designs look so weird.
Yeah. 12s are weird too, but they're kind of cool because they're like varying types of cactaur. So there's like the fat, lazy one. There's the like awesome, pretty one with the flower, and so that's fine. But yeah, the 14 ones, they look so funky.
They look like the 11 ones.
Yeah, they're like these
guys. If you've never played the online Final Fantasies, you have got to check out the cactaurs in FF11 and FF14 because they look like freaks.
Yeah, they walk.
Actually, they're not even called cactaurs in 14. They're like called saboteurs.
They walk like bow-legged, like they're super chubby. They've got these
and
guts.
if you put a cactaur in your game, call it a cactaur. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, I think we
sabotenders, excuse me.
Sabotenders. Okay, fair enough. And
make them look like a cactaur. Call them a cactaur. Make sure they have 1,000 needles or 10,000 needles, depending on like the health.
Yeah,
how big
fair enough. However,
I think that is important to keep in the game.
Yeah, those classic enemies with their classic Doom moves or whatever.
How about, okay, I got another one. A common thing in Final Fantasy is to have like another planet or a moon or an underground something.
Floating continent.
Yeah, like a floating continent or something as part of the story. Often with some kind of race that is doesn't have any contact with the other race on the regular planet.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just say Earth. Like the moon people don't really have contact with the Earth people too much, or the dwarves, are by themselves. Do you think they should have something like that in FF15? We haven't seen that in a while.
No, we haven't.
And I remember even older Final Fantasies, there were like villages that were cut off completely from the rest of the world.
Yeah, I mean, 13.
Like you'd go there and it would be like the village of the ancients or something like that, and it would just be like these people that have been there for forever and really don't have outside human contact or have isolated themselves. Do you think that'll be part of FF15, and would you want it to be? I don't know. I always thought those things were cool.
They're cool, but I mean, 13 had it with Pulse and Cocoon. That's essentially the same thing. Cocoon is the moon, so to speak, above, and Pulse is the main planet. But it's told from the opposite point of view, where you're on
Do you see a big moon in FF15's
demo thing? The screen. Yeah, maybe it has some sort of play. I don't think it's super necessary, and I don't know how they would fit it into 15. I mean, it seems more like a political plot, and I don't know where in God's name they'd throw in some sort of moon plot. I wouldn't be surprised, and it wouldn't be beyond them. But I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it would be cool to have some sort of race of people that are just like, they're not used to humans, some sort of humanoid race. They're really common in the series as well, and I think it'd be cool to have something like that, some sort of hermit people that are separated. But I don't know about another planet. I don't know how well they could toss that into the mix.
You know what I think we need in FF15?
What is that?
That I haven't seen so far. I haven't seen a singular bad guy.
For, like, ever?
Yeah, for FF15.
Yeah, or in the series.
There's no singular a-hole bad guy that has come out with the media that we've seen. I mean, there are some bad guys, but there needs to be some kind of singular antagonist to Noctis that I would like to see with a lot of character. FF13 had a lot of different bad guys. FF14 might have a singular bad guy. He's kind of been this mysterious force, but then there's been like the judges. I'm not sure who is the big baddie there. You know what I mean?
Well, it's another nation. It's basically 12.
Yeah, FF12 has a singular bad guy. So we haven't seen one since FF12.
Yeah, that's been a little while.
Like, no true, okay, this is the antagonist.
Right, and even with 10...
And I feel like the games that have that are stronger.
Yeah. Yeah, they're...
Well, with 10, it was Seymour / Titus's own father.
/ the church.
Well, I'd call that Seymour.
Yeah.
I'd put that under Seymour.
Well, the final Aeon is... No, yeah, I guess, yeah, Seymour does take the big vein, but then with that being said, I mean, Seymour.
So it's Darth Vader and the Emperor almost there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good comparison, I guess.
Where Darth Vader equals Seymour, and then the Emperor equals Yevon / Sin / all that stuff.
Right. Right, except the Death Order's different. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But yeah, that's kind of how it is. And they always drop off Star Wars like every 5 minutes. Or...
Well, Star Wars, to bring up Joseph Campbell for the 3rd week in a row, or I'm not sure if actually
Star Wars just rips off the hero's journey completely.
Star Wars doesn't rip off anything.
Well, it uses it. It doesn't claim that it's its own, so
but
I guess it doesn't rip
follows
it off.
a strong mythological format that is used to tell a hero story.
Right, except the weird love story between the siblings, but whatever. That's beside the point. It's weird, okay, and no one ever really mentions
That's
it.
That's B story. That's not A story.
You're right.
A story, B story, C story, that's B story.
Right, so it is similar. I mean, they both pull off of that, but they don't have to have an emperor every time. But they do.
I don't know. Well, look, you're looking at FF... I think some of the reasons why FF4's story is not as strong as some of the other games in the series is because you have the bad guy switcheroo all the time. And certainly if they had kept to one bad guy, it would have been a stronger story. And I'd say the same of 13 also. In fact, 13 needed a clear bad guy.
Yeah.
I think that's that was an important thing. So I think it's important to have a very clear antagonist and not just be like, well, there's this bad guy, and then this one shows up, and then this one shows up. And it's like, that's...
Yeah.
The story. Well, it's gonna be. I'm not gonna say that it's impossible to pull that off. I am going to say that it is much harder to pull off a good
bad guy or a
good narrative like that. You need a force that is bigger than the hero to fight against, and if it's a singular force, I think the story will be simpler, and thus probably better.
Yeah,
and you'll get a lot of characterization for the one bad guy.
There's a chance of that, but
there's some evil king-looking guy in some of the trailers, and I assume he's bad.
Yeah, no, he's probably the bad guy. But one thing I also want to see is with the bad guys.
We need a Kefka or a Sephiroth again.
Well, not necessarily though, because the problem with those guys is they're pure evil. I'm tired of seeing the white and black world that doesn't exist anywhere.
I don't think Sephiroth is pure evil. Kefka is pure evil.
Kefka is, but Sephiroth's a little bit more gray. But a lot of these bad guys, they're pure evil. They're just evil. Like and that's not realistic.
I think that can work.
The slightest.
I think that can work though.
It's not realistic though, and I know we're not trying to be super realistic with a fantasy game, but there's no way to relate to that. That's why Sephiroth is a stronger bad guy, is because he wasn't always evil. He is evil for a reason. He's trying to accomplish this purpose for a reason, kind of a thing. It's not just, oh yeah, I'm just fucked up. I'm gonna kill everything.
Well, it needs to be one of those situations where the bad guy thinks he's in the right. He thinks he's doing good.
Yeah, that's a stronger one, kind of like in.
But his worldview is fucked up.
Right, kind of like in old Aki Ross's movie, where the bad guy thinks he's doing the right thing, and then it turns out he's not. And I think it's better if he realizes that he's not doing the right thing. As much as our listeners
hate that movie, I think you're right there.
Yeah, and it's good to see when they realize they're doing the wrong thing, and they don't necessarily need to try to stop themselves, but just accept the fact that, well, it's too late now, which the series has done a little bit of in the past. But
what about like an Amon Goth to an Oscar Schindler? That guy is fucking pure evil, and it worked.
That's true. Well, I don't know. He tried to not be evil for like 10 seconds, but then so he can at least show restraint, but he can't actually show restraint. He's just evil.
He's such a sociopath that it's like
true.
But the war gives him a reason to be absolutely nuts. Roger Ebert talked about that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is he has a reason to be that way. He doesn't just become introduced as, oh yeah, this guy's he's evil.
So
like, well, if you're evil, why did all these people? So like, why are they all following you? Like, show me why you have this following.
Tell me why.
Even though you're evil as hell,
How about the Joker in The Dark Knight? I'm sure a lot of our listeners watched that movie. That guy's just pure evil.
Yeah,
it's just pure sociopath.
Yeah, it works, I guess. He also just disappears at the end of the movie.
You're saying it's an old tired thing, and I'm telling you, in Final Fantasy, it's not really an old tired thing.
I don't know. It's
been used once. with Kefka as being like a bad guy with the only motive is really to just be bad and to cause chaos and whatever. We haven't really seen that much.
I don't know. A lot of them don't have.
Yeah.
Super
Sephiroth
clear.
is just sad, and so he becomes,
like Ultimacia. What? She just wants to destroy. That's it. That's her objective.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, you just pulled my BS away. Ultimacia is another one then. Yeah, but Ultimacia wasn't a clear bad guy. They went 3 sorceresses deep in that
True.
game.
So they did the 4 thing where it was the switcheroo.
Yeah,
and
they
the
did
ultimate
the bad guy switcheroo. They need to not do that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Don't do the bad guy switcheroo in Final Fantasy 15. I think that's death to the
game.
To the game stories. We'll give it a bad story review.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and
the bad guy switcheroo is bad.
yeah, I mean, you don't have to. You can change how people view the bad guy. And obviously, he's going to be the antagonist.
FF4 did it. FF5 kind of did it. FF9 kind of did it.
FF3 did it.
FF3 did it.
At the very end. I mean, FF3's makes sense though because you end up fighting pure darkness, which that doesn't make sense. But the idea of it works because you are the light fighting the dark.
Yeah.
But it's maddening to even imagine fighting the evil. Like how it just manifests in this cloud. Whatever though. But that works a little bit better.
How about
still.
no data logs that give you more story?
Yeah.
Or give you how about just no glossing over exposition? How about that?
Yeah, that would be great. Explain.
Yeah, you can have
everything.
data logs, but if it's something necessary to the plot or the world that we need to know, don't put it in data logs.
Right, I kind of liked how they did the story with 10 almost.
Well, they're not going to be able to do this same thing with 10.
Yeah, because the characters lived in the world.
Lives in the world. 10's was genius because he doesn't understand the world that he's been put into, and so the character needs to have things explained to him, so it gets explained to the audience. How about
I don't think that's entirely impossible though, because he's royalty. He doesn't know what happens outside of his cush royal life.
That's a good point, and he's going into another kind of nation there.
Yeah,
after
different
his stuff is destroyed.
A different area, and he's not getting grapes.
They might actually be doing that already.
You think so? I think that would be really solid because they did that great with 10.
It's a smart narrative technique, and they've only done it once so far.
Yeah, and it worked fantastically. It was amazing in 10.
Okay, I have on here. People have been talking about mini games. We haven't seen mini game. Well, we have mini games in 14. 13 didn't have a mini game. And 12 didn't have a mini game.
I guess the only thing in 13 would be the Chocobo Treasure Hunter. I guess. And 12's mini game was the.
That's just I wouldn't call it a game though. That's just like part of the game.
No, you don't have to do it though.
Is riding a Chocobo and you can dig and find treasure. It's not like
a button pressing event.
It's not very gamey. You know what I mean? It's just kind of.
Yeah, 12 had one though. It had
something you can do.
There was a fishing mini game in 12. You just didn't do it. I didn't do it either this last time.
I don't think I knew about it until the very end when you talked about it.
Yeah, you have to do a bunch of weird shit, and then that's how you get I think you have to do that to get the Worm Hero Blade, which is.
Do you think there should be naked fishing in 15?
Naked fishing?
Or just fishing?
I don't imagine it.
You get some more fan service and have them all take off their shirts.
Yeah, you probably could. I mean, one of them's already basically that way.
Wade in the water.
Well, they already have we've already seen stuff in the trailers for the fishing minigame, and it looks cool. It looks awesome. You have to pull the controller to the left, and it's like a God of War mini event almost. You have to press buttons and shit. That looks fun.
How about a card game?
Make it like Texas Hold'em or something. Something real. I don't want to play. I don't want to
base it off of Texas. Something you can gamble to get Gil.
That would be cool. Yeah.
I
some sort of Gil casino.
The Fable games, you can gamble, and all these type of games that are gambling games. I think that would be an awesome aspect to FF15, especially since they have to travel in an underground kind of world. You know
so you might as well go to the seedy
so it might as well be
joints.
just a bit seedy. How about dancing girls? We haven't seen dancing girls in quite a while in Final Fantasy. Not since the 2D Final Fantasies.
That's true. I want to see those.
Yeah, so like there's dive bars with like illegal gambling going on in the back and like some strippers. Let's do it. That'll add more female characters, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what everyone wants. Everyone's been saying, where are all the females? Then we can throw them in right there.
The female characters.
That's...
I think it's okay to have them all be male in Final Fantasy 15. I really do.
Yeah.
And it's not because we don't want female characters. It's because I don't want them to shoe in a female character, which would change the dynamic of whatever story they're trying to tell.
I'm getting tired
as of this moment. But, you know, putting a strong female protagonist in the next game would be great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tired of them shooing in characters, creating shit just at last minute to be like, oh, we need to appeal to this group. Oh, throw them in, yeah. That's the Vanille and
They do it all the goddamn time, and the time to do that would have been...
in the beginning. Think about what you want to do before you start building it.
So I think fans need to shut up for a little bit and just say, hey, FF16 needs a strong female lead. That way they can be like... research shows that we need strong female characters.
Yeah.
And you know, to satisfy our female audience, and so we should do that for FF16. It doesn't mean do an FF10 too, which is like
sexualizing
8-year-old little girls apparently, and just like it's sexualized, so it's like fucking weird.
Well, they can't resist that anyway.
It's a super girly yet sexualized game.
They're Japanese, man. There's nothing we can do to change that.
I don't fucking get it.
As messed up as it is,
it's like watching a J-pop music video. It's fucking atrocious.
You're like,
and there is a J-pop music video at the beginning of
there is, yes. It accepts what it is and it just rolls with it. But yeah, you know, I mean, that's the thing, and a lot of these games have this issue anyways, even when they have female characters. Like, not all of them add a whole ton of elements to it. Like in 12, you have, but most of the characters don't add a shit ton.
I think usually
Ash does.
If they have if it's one of like the lead 6 or lead 8 or whatever.
Yeah, they can have pretty big roles. I don't know. I guess it's hit and miss, which is kind of how it is with characters in general. So I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking of right then, but I don't know, like Riku in 10. Like, she doesn't really add much. Like, she adds a sort of helpfulness to Waka, accepting that he needs to not be a racist prick for the rest of his life. But I don't know. Like, to the overarching story, what you would tell people if they asked you, what's Final Fantasy X about? You would not need to mention her basically ever. And I don't know. So it's like, do you really want a main character in there that's like that? That they're
shoehorned
like,
in?
Sort of. Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be cool if they just... I think it's fine just leaving it the way it is. It's whatever. It's already too far in.
We can do a final... Like, as long as they don't, like... go way the fuck overboard. They shouldn't go way the fuck overboard either way.
No, they shouldn't. And then we've seen 14. They do it. They like over sexualize everything. So it's funky, but
and keep Sydney.
Yeah, yeah, keep her in there.
She's fine.
We need her to fix our car and stuff, you know. So yeah, whatever. I don't know. Is there anything else that you?
I think some people don't like it because it's like unrealistic that she would be wearing that and like.
Yeah, it kind of is.
We're okay with a mostly naked Lady Unalesca, but God forbid a car mechanic with a large amount of cleavage.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't say I've ever had my car fixed by a woman, as far as I know.
I have.
I had a lady that was working at... No, yeah, I guess there was one.
Mechanic at...
Yeah, over at the Hyundai place that you go to.
Place, yeah.
She knows a lot more than we do about... Probably any car.
I don't know jack shit.
But she wasn't wearing a super revealing thing either, so I don't know.
God.
Yes.
By the way, looking at the mechanic.
Yes, she was very grizzly.
If you looked like Sydney, I don't see why not show it off. I don't know.
Wow.
You're going to come off as sexist. Someone's going to misconstrue our attitudes here.
That's all right, whatever. We can't do...
Yeah, fuck them.
We can't please everybody. We are not that way. All right, so...
Oh, wait, my last thing here, main character death.
Yeah, you want to see that again?
Yeah.
That'd be cool. It's got to be powerful.
Well, okay, listen, we've had main character deaths in FF4, and in FF6, and in FF7, famously. Why not bring it back?
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Well, not that it'd be cool. I mean, it has to be meaningful and it has to work in the story, but
maybe
that is something that they haven't done in a long time. So, of course, they'll do it and they'll be like, well, they brought up the FF7 influence in FF15. Obviously, they did it because of Aerith. And it's like, Aerith wasn't the first main character to ever die.
Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it'd be crazy if
or
they
almost
just,
die, like in 4.
Yeah, I think it'd be crazy if they just killed Noctis off, just like boom. And then even if they did that, if like near the end he like has some resurrection thing, it wouldn't be quite like 4 where it's super cheap. But
and there's the tail end of one of the hero's journeys.
Yeah. They
do resurrection at the end.
That would be awesome. I think they need to play into that more. Although that would be, we'd probably just be like, oh, it's just like 4. They make it seem powerful, and then they just suck the power right out. Although they don't have to do it that way, but you can make a powerful resurrection scene. It happens.
Most important thing, have a good story.
Yeah.
Second most important thing, have great gameplay.
Yep, it's a video game, and it's Final Fantasy, so it needs to have a great story, and it needs to be fun. I don't want to fucking play it if it's not fun. I will, but I don't want to.
So, Schweiss, do you want to answer some questions?
Yeah, I think we have time for a couple of questions.
Yes, we do. All right, so our first question is about fan-made Final Fantasy games.
Oh,
this is from Batman.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since he asked a question. I have a friend who is making his own RPG and realized that there were probably a lot of free-to-play fan-made RPG games on the internet. I started looking around and found that not only were there several original titles, but also fan-made FF games.
Oh, wow.
These games look like they are taking some of the same properties from FF games, character designs, graphics, battle systems, etc., but with all new stories. Some look like they are remakes. A 2D FF7 game is being worked on, and some look like they are sequels or spin-offs to existing FF games. Have you guys looked into any of these games? I know it would be way down the line, but would you consider playing these as part of the podcast? Short answer, no.
Yes.
Definitely not as part of the podcast, but it looks like these are from RPGmaker.net, and some people have posted their stuff. Caleb Craig was supposed to make us an RPG for a podcast.
Yeah, he was going to make our podcast as an RPG. It would have been amazing.
Yeah, it would have been amazing.
Let's see. We got some Final Fantasy, Sky Warriors, 4 Alter Destiny.
Yeah, I don't know what the...
Endless Nova. What the fuck are you doing with your chair?
I'm fucking with my chair, and I always
Black
do.
Moon.
And I always like drop 2 inches, and you can see it on the screen. I'm like... Pfft.
Yeah, and the camera shakes.
Yeah.
Black Moon Prophecy 2. No.
Final Fantasy Dreams. Final Fantasy Chaos. Wow, there's tons here.
Dissidia 014.
014.
Yes.
Instead of 012.
Yes.
you emphasize the O as if it were... 014.
Final Fantasy VII remake. They stole our logo.
They didn't. We stole the logo.
We borrowed it. They blatantly took it.
Hey, you know what I did? I took the FF7 image and I fucked with it.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. Beyond repair.
So would we wouldn't consider playing them for the show because they aren't official. And there's just a billion of them. We don't want to even go near that can of worms. We don't even want to look at it. It doesn't exist.
Nope, it doesn't.
But they look, some of them look kind of cool. We've always talked about, or we have many times talked about 2D remakes of all the 3D games. I still think that'd be a fantastic idea. And it'd be a lot of fun.
As opposed to 3D remakes of the 2D games?
Yeah, just go in reverse. Just make everything 2D sprites and see how it goes.
So when we take over Square Enix,
we
just buy one piece of stock every day.
Yeah, one piece of stock every day, and then we go to their meetings and we get them to want this giant...
And we live for many, many, many years.
Yeah. No. Here's what we do. We just plant the idea of a movie in their mind. A really expensive, really awesome-looking movie, and just we can market it. It'll be fine. put it in that gray area of can't tell if it's a kid's movie, can't tell if it's for adults, and boom, it crashes, and then they sell to us.
There you go.
And then we own it.
Itchnitzel says on here, from what I hear of Square Enix, wouldn't they go shutting these people down? I feel like it would take a lot of convincing for me to play a fan-made game, but that's just because I'm extremely anal about researching a game before I buy it. I don't think they would ever shut something like that down. It's kind of a fan-made piece.
Yeah, the only thing...
And they're not getting money off of it. That's the important thing. You know, the FF7 miniseries that they were trying to do, we do have an episode on that, by the way.
Yeah, go check it out. It was a while ago. Inside scoop.
Yeah, the inside scoop. The one sentence of the inside scoop.
It's amazing.
I think that was mostly because they were trying to get money from it.
Well, it's either they're trying to get money from it, or it's an idea that
in some way they're losing money.
Yeah, they're either trying to get money from it, or it's an idea that they either A, are working on, or B, saw and were like, you know, we're going to do that, we're going to shut you down.
Right.
So with these, I don't think...
In some way, they're going to lose money.
Right, I don't think with any of these, they're really going to worry about it.
So let's say, okay, two big fan projects that were shut down. These are the only ones I know about. FF7 miniseries, they got the rights to the music. But they did not get the rights to Final Fantasy VII. And they were taking Kickstarter money.
Right.
So, in other words, they were taking money away from Square Enix.
Yeah, sort of. But yeah.
Money that should be going to Square Enix because it's their property.
Right.
That's why they get shut down.
And then Type 0.
Type 0.
They were doing.
You have a possibility of screwing with their sales in Japan by having people order Type 0 from Japan and bringing it over to the US. So it screws with their data and what they're going to sell. Secondly, it did show them that they had a want for Type 0.
Yeah.
And so that meant that, okay, instead of that, we're actually going to make money doing it ourselves, and we don't want that situation where like someone goes, I'm not going to play Type 0, or I'm not going to buy that Type 0 because I bought the Japanese one and played that.
Yeah. Well,
so in a way, that's taken away from possible money from Square Enix.
Well, yeah, I suppose. I mean,
anything that where the fan-made project is going to take money away from them, yeah, they're not going to be okay with.
Yeah, I mean,
so if someone did a pure, absolute remake in 2D of Final Fantasy 13, I bet they would take that down.
They would definitely take it down. There's no way they could resist that. I mean, that would just plant the idea in their heads to be like, oh, maybe we could do that and see what'll happen. And I'm totally for that because they have a budget
but any fan
you can't imagine.
Any fan project that doesn't possibly pull from their pot, they don't care about.
Yeah, no, I don't think they're gonna make any fuss over some of them that are just not feasible. Like the ones we were seeing, I don't think they were necessarily things that they're gonna work on. All right, so we have another one here. It's have you tried playing FF14 on the PS Vita?
From Shinru.
No, and I'm not buying a Vita.
It says plays pretty good with no lag, and you can play anywhere, even away from your house, as long as you have an internet connection that is good.
That's awesome.
I know some people that will play FF14 on their Vita when they have free time at work or right after they finish their lunch break and stuff.
Okay, that is a really cool thing, but I answered it on the forum here. And let's go through some of the other answers. Okay. Chica says, WTF. I didn't know this was a thing that could be done. She has a Vita. She's been playing through this whole time, and
should look into it.
Should have looked into it, yeah. Probably wouldn't be able to play it at work. Downtime, randomly disturbed.
I heard that Vita, they're no longer making only Vita games.
They're also...
Like, that's a thing that's not going to happen anymore.
They dropped support for the system, too. Sony's no longer supporting it.
Wow.
So it's dead. I'm not buying a dead fucking console or a dead handheld. There's no way.
Well, you know, it would just add to the convenience of playing 14, but for our purposes, no. But certainly for you guys out there who want to buy a Vita. Yeah,
okay, and to my comment 14. On Vita being a failed system.
Okay, say it.
Shinru, I said, the Vita is a failed system that I have oftentimes considered buying for all the classic ports. I've never gone through with it, and I doubt I will. Sony's dropped support for the system, and I feel like they should just stick to non-mobile. That's where they shine. And I agree.
And Square Enix should stick to non-mobile also.
But yeah, but they shine with mobile too, so we're fucked.
They shine? You mean they make money?
They make money, yeah. That's shining.
That's the shine.
Yeah. So Shinra says Sony dropped support, but third parties are still releasing mini games for it. If you like JRPGs, the system is a must-own. You can play 1 through 10 on it, and a bunch of spin-off games. You have great games like Persona 4 Golden, very true, versus Memories of Selecta, Freedom Wars, blah, blah, blah. Tons of games. Now, I love JRPGs, but I don't know. And he says, honestly, if you can find one for under $100, you should definitely get one. Not to mention, it's the superior way to play classic PS1 and PSP games because of all the filter settings it has compared to the few that are on the PSP or PS3. I agree with all of that.
I think it's a waste of money. If you already got it, though, it's kind of nice.
Yeah, and the only problem that I don't know, dude. I don't want to buy an old game for full fucking price, and that's what a lot of these are. Now, I know you can buy them on the store, the PlayStation Store, and it's not a big deal, but I'm not going to pay $20 to buy a little fucking disc thing or a little cartridge to play an old game. It's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to buy all the Final Fantasy games again to play them handheld. I'm okay. I don't know. I agree with you, though, Shinru. It is cool, and I've seen Caleb playing a lot of games, and I'm like, wow, that's awesome that you have 10 on your handheld device, but I have 10 on my non-handheld device. And
how much was the Vita when it first came out? Because I have a theory here that could be true based upon its price.
I think it was a couple hundred. I'm not totally sure on that, but okay. I feel like it was $199.
Here's what I suggest Sony do with its handheld systems in the future, should it make more. The PSP was a success, so we know that it can be possible for Sony to like do a good job in the handheld market. Mm-hmm. There is one company that absolutely rules the handheld market with an iron fist, and that is Nintendo. And what does Nintendo do with their systems? They make them affordable.
Yeah, they do.
And I feel like that's the reason why the Wii did so well in comparison to
the
PS3 back in the day. Now, it had a better launch, and slowly the PS3 gained more. But PS3 being released at $600, I bet you the Vita was an expensive motherfucker. Now, I never had any want to buy the Vita.
Yeah.
But I just know Sony, and I know it had to be too expensive. And I bet you the 3DS was much cheaper.
Right, and I mean, I don't know, with Wii, Wii was a different story. The Wii was marketed in a different way. That's a lot of the reason why so many people bought Wiis. We had old people buying Wiis. You know how many old people bought PS4s, PS3s, sorry? Probably not very many. It wasn't marketed as a for everybody kind of console. So that's a little bit different, but you're absolutely right on the price point argument, and Sony normally comes out a little more expensive, and that does put a
They fixed it this time. PS4 was not... It wasn't as expensive as the PS3 when it was released.
No.
I think the PS4 is at $400, right?
Something like that, yeah. $450,
not $600.
No, and you know, it's fuck. It's I don't know. It's weird that they would even do that to begin with, to release something so pricey.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I wasn't interested in the Vita. Plus, I was like, why would I buy it for 10? I have 10 twice already. Like, I don't need to play it everywhere. I'm driving when I'm not here. I'm not just chilling at places. So it's funky, but I think they can do mobile, but I think they should just accept the fact that they're never going to be able to match Nintendo's prowess on the mobile. They'll just stick to the high-end graphics, do what they're doing, and I don't know. But we're not here for Sony. We're here for Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy XIV Fan Festival. Question from Sinner.
We were just barely talking about this.
Since going to the FF14 Fan Festival a year ago and now actually playing the game, do you guys have any thoughts or personal reflections to discuss? For example, do you think the games met your expectations from the hype of the Fan Festival, or thoughts on what the presenters were talking about at the time?
Yeah, it was announcing stuff for Heaven's Word, and
I now understand what a primal is.
Yeah. We didn't really know what it was.
That is the one thing I'm like, oh, I know what that is now.
I've gotten a little more of some more references.
And I understand how people play kind of now, you know. It's
the all different styles and how it actually matters instead of
how it kind of all works.
So. Yeah, and we have an overall little more of an understanding. Plus, mostly what I've been getting lately is just remembering news stories that we covered about certain events. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember talking about that. I don't remember exactly what they are, but it's definitely coming back to me. And Yeah, definitely the enhancement of Heaven's Word is something we see every time we turn the fucking thing on.
You know what I'm pretty sure of? We were talking about earlier today.
What's that?
I swear to God, he called it the first annual Final Fantasy XIV fan festival in his intro speech to the whole thing.
I think he did, actually, yeah.
Where's the second annual?
I don't know. That'd be great. I mean, it'd be awesome to go out there and hang out.
I don't think they lost money.
I doubt it, dude. If they did, they don't know what they're doing, because that place was pretty packed. And it'd be sweet to actually go to the LBR after party this time, instead of thinking about it and then not.
All right, so we got this one here from Fruff. What is the game that you have played for the podcast that you were looking forward to the most that ended up being a disappointment? Is there a game you were maybe looking at with nostalgia glasses and realized upon playing the game that it didn't hold up to the test of time? Real quick, I would suggest asking this again in the future when we're nearly done with the show.
In the future.
But as far as the first 14 games, now we haven't reviewed 14, but I'm going to tell you it's going to get a good review. What game did you come to and was disappointed of the most?
Probably 8. I don't know, though. It's difficult to say, because I remember playing 8 and being like, oh man, this is awesome, because there were a lot of fun elements to 8. But then this time, I don't know, because I knew going in, I'm like, hey, this is not going to be the greatest game. And it wasn't. So I don't know if that really counts, if it qualifies. Oh, fuck. I kind of knew what was going to happen for all of them but 6, but that wasn't a disappointment. Neither was 5. I'll say 4, which is sad because it's not the worst game. But I'd say 4 is probably the most disappointing thus far. It has nothing to do with nostalgia glasses. It has everything to do with it being hailed as like one of the greatest RPGs to ever be made. And there were some problems with it that I couldn't overlook for the longest time. And I even put it below 8 until like the last review episode where I was like, no. It did way more for the series than 8 did. And I was like, even if it had some bullshit plot twists, it's more important. So I would say probably 4 is the one that I was looking forward to a lot, because we kept hearing, that's when it becomes real. That's when Final Fantasy gets its shit together and becomes what it is today. And it's true. It's 100% true. But no one ever talks about the resurrection of all the characters and all the power that those scenes once brought, just being, pissed on. No one ever brings that up. So I'd probably say that one is the most disappointing. And as far as the one I was looking at with nostalgia glasses and realized it didn't hold up quite as well.
I thought it was the same question.
It was the same question, but I don't have nostalgia glasses for 4. I can't even answer it because 12 was awesome the second time. So,
I was disappointed in the Hojo storyline stuff with FF7. I found them slightly annoying.
Yeah.
So that was a slight disappointment in FF7, and that's why it's ranked below FF6. Just because I think FF6 is, besides some glitches in the game, it's flawless.
Yeah, besides some actual flaws, it's flawless.
Glitches easily fixed in later ports.
Yes.
I assume. FF8 was a bit of a disappointment. I knew it was going to be kind of a sludge, but it was a lot even harder this time around to get through the first 2 discs. That's a rough game to get through the first 2 discs on.
Yeah.
Storyline wise, it's just like, oh, please God. Man, I was a little disappointed in 13.
Yeah.
Because I liked it a lot more the first time around. And it's not that I didn't like it this time around. It just it didn't hold up as much as I thought it would.
Yeah. And I'd see 13 to me got better this time. But, I still ranked it where I ranked it.
Yeah. So that's where I would answer that. So we're running out of time now. I want to remind you guys that our last question from us to you was
what is your favorite class in Final Fantasy XIV or in the series if you haven't played 14? I think we're gonna, I don't know, do you want to leave that one up for a little longer?
Yeah, a little bit longer, I think.
I feel like doing these every week is...
Yeah, and you know what, you can tweet it to us, or you can please post it in our forum. That's where the section is.
Yeah, join the forums, man.
So you can do that.
/woman.
And we didn't have any iTunes reviews, but I guess one of our listeners had a problem posting it, so it's not like we didn't have an iTunes review.
We just didn't have the ability to...
we're not going to play the song. Not yet. So we're going to end this episode now. Make sure you guys check out our youtube.com/Ultimate Final Fantasy, Twitter at UFF Podcast, Facebook.com/Ultimate Final Fantasy. Support us on Patreon. $1 a month gets you the episodes at the very least 2 hours early.
Yes.
And you know what? For those guys, I'm going to give them a little something.
Yeah?
Yeah. If you were a Patreon donor right now, get on your Patreon page and I left a little something for you.
Yes. Well, not actually, because they'll download it.
And you have to be quiet about it.
Early, but
you really have to be quiet about what I post on there. Twitch.tv/Ultimate Final Fantasy. Our website, ultimatefinalfantasy.com, is where our forums are. Please join them. Please join in the discussion. And last but not least, our phone number, 385-204-3921. Someone did leave us a question on there. We're going to get to it soon.
Yes.
But go ahead. You can leave us an introduction.
Yeah, those are always fun.
Which we haven't had in a while. Say, hey, my name is blah, 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 and this is Ultima Final Fantasy.
Or say whatever the fuck you want. I mean, say something.
Yeah, literally say whatever the fuck you want.
Say what you need to say.
Leave us a message. Leave us a review on... you got about... I think you got... Actually...
I don't think it stops, dude. I found one that was 10 minutes. It was like some misdialed number, but after like 4 minutes, it just started making this blaring, annoying noise, and I was just like, I forgot I played it.
Okay.
So all of a sudden, this hell noise comes over, and I don't know, I thought I died and went to hell. And
so leave us a message. It's 385-204-3921. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
And until next time, enjoy the grind.
This has been another production of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast. The show was produced by Joseph Golier and Cable Schweiss, with music and editing by Joseph Golier, parodies and clips from their respective authors, of course. You can get all of our episodes as well as our Let's Plays at ultimafinalfantasy.com. You can also contact us on Twitter at UFF Podcast, as well as our contact page on our website. Be sure to subscribe and review our podcast. Your reviews may get read on the show, and we look forward to the next episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast.
All right, let us see the final moments of Twitch.
Yeah, Krinitel, we saw all of Krinitel's comments. And Krinitel went to bed. Thank you for staying up with us.
Yeah.
As long as it's good.
All right. Sabotenders, cactaurs, and 14. Yep.
If 14 has multiple bad guys, I think that might be a problem.
Gunblades? No. No gunblades for 15. Come on. It fits in with the style. It kind of does. Yeah, you're right. A sword and a gun with a style. I think it'd be cool if they had guns as a separate weapon. I don't think you need to combine them. Throw Sin in the game. Sin!
Benjamin just hit 50 in FF14. In 4 days?
What? No, he didn't hit 50.
That's what it just says.
No, he's 40. I saw it earlier. He said he was level 40.
50. Go down. It's in orange.
No. Oh, Baindrum. I was thinking Krinitel.
Yeah, Baindrum.
Jesus, dude.
Or it's in green, surrounded by orange. Do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior Satan? Nope. Enjoying the stream, guys. Just finish my 4-year relationship due to me purchasing. Purchasing what?
Wait, where are you at? Oh, just finished his 4-year relationship due to him purchasing 14, probably.
Or a PS Vita.
Yeah. I told you it's a failure.
And I have no interest in your 3-horned dildo ritual.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys,
cool.
for joining us. I think we're done for tonight.
Yep. We will see you again next time.
Heavens, where you don't have it already?
I guess he doesn't, but, yeah. Pick it up, man.
We'll talk to you on Tuesday or Monday or Wednesday, whenever the
Whenever the server's up.
Who knows?
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see ya.